All right, we are ready to go, and the numbers are increasing right now. So welcome everybody. I will have my official engram. This is pre-webinar welcome. We have a great participants, great speakers and performers here today. I will greet every one of you, every one of you separately. But first, let's have some music for our souls, and we will start with Minna, our dear friend Minna Raskinen from Finland, with her lovely kantele. Okay, there we go, Minna. Screen is yours. Thank you, Minna. Lovely as always. Well, you know, in Finland, you have kantele. In Turkey, we have kanun. So we're going to switch to kanun, but maybe in between, we can put the oud. We can place the oud. Yurdalcığım, ne dersin?
Çok iyi olur.
Teşekkürler Yurdal. Thank you very much, Yurdal. Wonderful as always. Huh? It kind of really relaxed us, as Oud usually does, you know. And now, Göksel'cim, haydi bakalım. Let's see our version of Kantele, our kanun. Teşekkürler, teşekkürler. Yani bana gene sürprizini yaptın. Dağlara yükselişe bir giriş yaptın orada.
Evet,
Oh, that
evet.
was a surprise to me. I love that tune, composition by dear friend Göksel, Rising to the Mountains, and then going back to good old friends, eski dostlar, eski dostlar, huh? That was lovely, that was lovely. Well, I think we still have some time, maybe just a little bit. Aycan Bey, I think we have time, right? Maybe for some additional tunes?
A few more minutes. It's almost
okay.
Free.
Well, just short ones, please. Yurdalcığım, maybe we'll continue with you. And when I see Minna, I'll pass it over to Minna. Or after Yurdal, we'll go over to Göksel again. All right? Something very short. Maybe a couple of minutes. Belki 2 dakikalık falan böyle kısaca. Ondan sonra hemen konuşmalara başlayalım. Teşekkürler. Thank you so much, Yurdal. Let's go with you, Göksel. A short one, please. It's rather difficult to really tell a wonderful performer like you or any one of you, hey, make it short, but we're going to have some more time, believe me. So my apologies, but all right, let's go.
Okay.
Thank you again. Teşekkürler. Nina, I'm rushing a little bit over to you. Another maybe 2-minute tune from you before we go to the wonderful speakers we have, and then we will have a little bit more coming up afterwards. All right, please go ahead. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Aycan Bey, I guess it's about time that we can officially start our meeting, right? Our webinar.
Yes, Halil Bey, we can start.
That's wonderful. Okay. And I'm starting. Very good. Excellent. That's wonderful. Yes. Dear Ambassador Erkul, dear Timo Sysiö, Head of Economic Section in the Finnish Embassy in Ankara, dear Mrs. Erman Karaca, President of TÜBİSAD, dear speakers who are making this very important and, in my opinion, significant message-carrying webinar possible, Quest for Women in Technology. And of course, distinguished representatives of Turkish and Finnish business communities, all attendees from all around the world. It is indeed my absolute pleasure to welcome you all today. As the chairman of DEİK's Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey, DEİK's Turkey-Finland Business Council. Greetings to you all from Istanbul. quest for women in technology. Kadın hak nurudur, sevgili değil. Sanki yaratıcıdır, yaratılmış değil. Woman is a way of God. She's not that earthly beloved. She is creative, not created. This was Rumi, Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi. As my dear friends know me, I have a way of starting with Rumi. Kind of sets me the stage and my direction, give me the right direction, if I may say so. Our 13th century philosopher, poet, and mystic. We all know that in the recent months especially, we've been experiencing a significant momentum in diversity, equity, and inclusion. As a matter of fact, the impacts of the pandemic have increased the level of this momentum somehow. And then we kept hearing the adjective, unprecedented. Unprecedented. Is it really? I gave the examples of a book that I read some maybe 45 years ago called Mankind Against the Killers by Jim Hemming, first published in 1959. But in sync with today, our topic today, I'd like to rename it Humankind Against the Killers. Nothing was unprecedented. Everything was there. Everything happened. But the problem was that we've been in constant battles with multiple fronts. It all ends with nature. And what simply happened, nature fought back, struck back with unprecedented war. Perhaps, I hate to even mention this, but guerre mondiale, perhaps a world war, okay? It was not unprecedented for nature. And really, we kind of knew that this would happen, but never accepted the reality and now been deluding ourselves, fooling ourselves by our adjective-enhanced conversation pieces. Okay. And we have been, simply put, we've been observers, not actors. So now is the time, I believe, for actionable screenplays. Always keeping in mind diversity, equity, inclusion. Women and men together. Women and men together. So what do we have to do? A humble suggestion. A few, rather. We should find ways to live in peace with nature, not destroying it. We should also find ways to share broadly and fairly and look for ways of mitigating or perhaps eliminating divisions. We from they, so-called othering. No? Yes, all of these suggestions in a way were kind of given to us many centuries ago. When you remember all those philosophers, be it in our part of the world, being in Far East, being in West, has always been the case. Again, Rumi, way back in the 13th century, he was already disseminating these teachings and values to the world through love and respect for all humankind. In fact, for all things created by the Creator, by God. I love his words when he said, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. So let today be yet another start, but for actionable thoughts to change ourselves within the context of diversity, equity, inclusion, especially in a world where all human beings, one way or the other, connected. Not like in the old days. But perhaps this was a bit unprecedented that this would happen so quickly. We are all connected digitally. with the advent of high-speed computers and the ubiquity of portable and affordable ways, enhanced with the development of effective and wireless networks, a unique landscape has been generated in the world. Truly a unique landscape. We have become digital and online. Intensified by internet-based technologies, people and machines are being connected at the speed of light. Over the next decade, billions of individuals and devices will be connected via digital networks. So perhaps, again, we can call this the new central nervous system of humanity. Yes, they will be connected with this new central nervous system of humanity to fulfill their needs. Technology, technology, technology, but within the control of humanity. And women and men together, I repeat, within the context of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you very much. Without further ado, Erman Hanım, the screen is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you, Halil Bey. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey, and the Honorable Second Secretary of Embassy of Finland, dear guests, speakers, DEİK members, it's my great pleasure as the President of TÜBİSAD to be with you here today for this event and welcome you all. I cherish the benefits of such platforms as they create bridges that span people, cultures, and bilateral aspirations. It's also a pleasure for me to be among distinguished people whom I believe have lots in common in terms of empowering women in the world of technology and other segments of social and business lives. I wish everyone a productive event. Thank you, Halil Bey, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much indeed, Erman Hanım. We really appreciate it. Now, our dear friend, Mr. Timo Sysiö, Head of Economic Section at the Embassy of Finland in Ankara. Timo, please, the floor is yours. Or I should say the screen is yours, and the new terminology. Huh?
Thank you so much, Halil Bey. Your Excellency, Ambassador Erkul, Erman Hanım, Halil Bey, dear speakers and guests. It's my pleasure on behalf of Ambassador Arhimäki and the Embassy of Finland in Ankara to be here today to join this DEİK Turkey-Finland Business Council talk, Quest for Women in Technology. Let me begin by wishing everyone here a good belated International Women's Day 2021. The past year has been tough, and globally, the coronavirus pandemic has affected women especially severely. However, the ongoing pandemic has also ushered in a newfound respect and appreciation and need for technology. And in Finland, we believe that women are the vanguards of this new technological leap. Finland has quite a good track record in gender equality, and the success of Finland as a country is linked with improvements in the status of women and gender equality. Today, Finland is a country where women usually work full-time and enjoy equal access to education and healthcare. Statistically, Finland is also where women are most likely to be able to participate fully in the country's political and economic life. However, Finland is not perfect either. We wish to see women having an ever larger role in the technology field, not only in Finland, but around the world in general. Without taking too much of your time, I would like to today share with you 2 examples of Finland's commitment to raising awareness of women in technology. Firstly, Finland is actively engaged in the 5-year generation equality process launched by UN Women, France, and Mexico. In this process, we're the proud co-leader of the Action Coalition for Technology and Innovation for Gender Equality. As such, we want to bring more women into technology as agents of change to make technology more gender responsive and free of structural inequality and biases. We must also expand access to digital infrastructure for women and girls in difficult situations and support their digital competencies. Special attention in the generation equality process will be paid to young women and girls, as well as to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Secondly, Finland has lately launched a campaign for the United Nations Human Rights Council in 2022-2024. As part of our campaign, we seek to build a world where women and girls of all abilities and ages can fully enjoy their rights. And we aim to ensure that new technologies and digitalization help enhance the equality and human rights for all, both online and offline. So once again, it's my pleasure to be here today to listen to Turkish and Finnish female technology leaders and advocates sharing their insights into being the agents of change in the field of technology. I wish you all a wonderful event.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timo Sysiö, or in a very friendly way, I'll go with Timo, okay, if you don't mind. The official way and the friendly way, all right? Thank you. Okay, thank you so much indeed. Sayın Büyükelçim, His Excellency, Mr. Vakur Erkul, he has always been so supportive of us. Thank you for being with us again. And without further ado, now the screen is yours. Thank you so much, please.
Thank you very much. Greetings from a winterly Helsinki. It's snowing outside, actually, and I have the privilege to address you all by delivering a short speech about quest for women in technology. Well, it poses quite a challenge for me because this is a topic that several doctoral theses could be written on. Women are the sustaining force of any society. And the only valid question in this context would perhaps be to ask if there's anything that women are not able to achieve. Valentina Tereshkova, the first and youngest woman who has flown in space with a solo mission, has rightly pointed out that if women can be railroad workers, then why should they not be able to fly in space? They can surely fly in space missions. They also can make and contribute to major scientific discoveries, leading to groundbreaking progress in technology to the benefit of all humankind. In this context, I also would like to quote one of my favorite scientists, a contemporary of Marie Curie, namely Albert Einstein, who said, "The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before." Today, there are roughly 7.8 billion people living on our globe, out of which 49.6% are women. Despite constituting half of the world's population, women, even today, are still underrepresented in the world of science, as only 30% of the world's researchers are women. Within the area of the European Union, the percentage of women academicians in the universities is 40.6%. According to the latest figures, there are 175,000 academicians lecturing in the Turkish universities. Out of these, 96,000 are men and 79,000 women. This indicates that 45.1% of all academicians in the Turkish universities are women. This is a higher percentage than within the EU. I can also proudly say that we have world-renowned women scientists like Professor Bilge Demirköz from the Middle East Technical University, and Dr. Özlem Türeci, who is one of the two co-founders of BioNTech company, just to mention a few. Starting with Marie Curie, as of 2020, a total of 57 women have won the Nobel Prize. Out of the 57, 12 were in medicine, 7 in chemistry, and 4 in physics. Needless to say that these numbers do not even closely reflect the weight and importance which women in the reality have contributed to the world of science. Initiatives like the L'Oréal UNESCO for Women in Science are important for encouraging young women scientists in their important endeavors to contribute to the scientific development, as they are also important in raising awareness and interest among young women students to become active in science. It is desirable that such initiatives would increase in number in the future. The phrase women in science might perhaps give a misleading impression. As the science itself, the scientific domain should be an area guided by factual and objective criteria, where merit and nothing else but the merit should be the benchmark for evaluating the scientist or to become a scientist. If this would be applied as a rule and the new normal, I am sure that the number of the scientists belonging to the female gender will constitute at least 49.6% of all scientists. In this context, I hope that in the not so distant future, there will be no female scientists, but just scientists contributing to the technological advance of the humankind. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. As always, great speech. Thank you. Well, we are back to our, what we said, concert intermission. Usually intermission is the time when we actually move out of the concert hall and just relax. But right now, let's relax with some music. Gökselcim, Yurdalcım, and Minna, are you there? We need you. Since you're the first one, Minna, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Okay, Yurdal, and you go next, Yurdal, and then we'll go with Göksel. Please. Efendim çok teşekkürler tüm katılımcılara, tüm konuşmacılarımıza. Thank you very much to all our participants and to all our speakers. Let's refresh our minds and also our souls and hearts with some beautiful tunes again, starting with Minna Raskinen from Finland. Minna, please. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. You were just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, as always. Yurdalcığım, please. Teşekkürler Yurdal. Thank you so much. Thank you. I guess Göksel is not here, but we'll have two tunes from him.
Buradayım.
Burada mısın?
Buradayım.
Göksel'cim nerelerdesin? Merak ettik. We were wondering about you. Okay.
Evet, ana sistemden kapatılmıştı. Şimdi açtım.
Okay.
Tamam.
So, we'll go with you. Göksel'cim sana devam edeceğiz.
Tamam.
Ondan sonra ben Erman Hanım'a devredeceğim, emanet edeceğim. We're gonna continue with Göksel, dear Göksel, with one final lovely tune, and then I'm gonna give it over to a wonderful moderator that we have, to Erman Hanım. So let's see what you're going to play. All right. Sağ ol, var ol. Thank you so much. As always, all of you, all three of you were wonderful. And deep felt gratitude and thanks to you all. Before we go further, I just want to thank all those who really made this webinar happen, especially our DEİK coordinators, Aycan, Damalı, and Direktuna. And then my dear members of our executive board, Turkey-Finland Business Council, starting with my vice chairman, Onur Çakır and Evren Dindiren, and of course our dear Nazmi Akıman, experienced former ambassador, who was also the chairman of Czechia Business Council, Güner Yavuzer, Soner Soyçerçer, Sami Güral, Nazlı Soylu, Melih Aksan, and Fatih Şedeli. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I think everybody's there. And every single person who really contributed to make this webinar happen. Again, I think I heard that there is now, as my dear friend Timo mentioned, there is a move towards United Nations. And I also heard that it should not be only one day to celebrate International Women's Day, but it should be the whole month, okay? And that's the reason why we want to do it, not on that very day of March 8th. Number one, so much was going on, but also we wanted to give this message that this will be, and this should be the whole month. Okay, thank you very much. We'll continue with some music later on. Now, there's a wonderful lady. Erman is not just the president of a forefront technology organization, TÜBİSAD, but also she's the chief technology officer of a truly multinational company of ours, Tab Foods. Erman, I am so delighted, and we're all so happy that you're here as our distinguished moderator. In the new version, the floor is yours. And I should say, in the very new version, the screen is yours, okay? There you go, please.
Okay, thank you very much for beautiful messages also. Let me share my screen. Okay, thank you again. Before going to talk with our panelists, I would like to share my ideas. Also, dear guests, just a week ago, we all celebrated the International Women's Day. I believe this Women's Day was specifically significant as the whole world has been trying to recover from the struggles of COVID-19 pandemic. All recent surveys indicate that women are among the most negatively affected from this global hardship. In the light of social and economical impact of pandemic, women all around the globe are trying to protect themselves from greater risk of domestic violence, unemployment, and instability in their lives. Therefore, I found the slogan of this year's International Women's Day very meaningful. Choose to challenge. I would like to use this opportunity to salute every woman and man who choose to challenge the hardships and take action on building a brighter future based on equality in all levels. Dear guests, technology is a good way to choose to challenge. Although women faced prejudices, not only in Turkey, but in the rest of the world, that technology was a masculine field of work. The legacy of our industry was built by female pioneers like Ada Lovelace, who wrote the first algorithm. Hedy Lamarr was a Hollywood star and inventor who pioneered the technology that would one day form the basis for today's Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth communication systems. Or Grace Hopper, who developed the COBOL programming language, and Margaret Hamilton, who coded the programs of humanity's first voyage to the moon. We shall all remember that. Female students, professionals, and leaders in technology are choosing to challenge the prejudices in every moment of every day. Luckily, my life and career allowed me to see from all these three perspectives. And my profession, which was shaped by the enthusiasm around technology, allowed me to experience and comprehend how life was full of opportunities when the equality to access them was supported. I was a lucky girl when I was a child, as my parents supported me in my ambition to build my life around science and technology. I was able to feed my motivation by accessing the accurate tools, and this helped me throughout my education and in my first steps to professional life. I was prouder than ever when I became the first woman executive vice president in technology at a bank. And now, as a digital leader, I am proud to be the first woman president of TÜBİSAD, Informatics Industry Association, and the founding and advisory board member of VTech, Women in Technology Association. Dear friends, as I have said earlier, technology is a good field to lead women and men to challenge inequality. Today, the rate of female employees in the informatics sector is around 33%. And this is an insufficient rate, as I think you will agree. When we look at the executive positions, we see with regret this ratio has decreased. As a vastly expanding industry, information technologies industry is capable of breaking this chain. According to TÜBİSAD's Information and Communication Technologies Market Data 2019 report, Turkey ICT industry had an average growth rate of around 17% between 2015 and 2019. Apart from an ambitious sector, I believe this steady growth rate was also achieved by our population's openness for new ideas and technologies. This strong foundation in our nation also feeds the power of innovation. In 2019, Turkey created its first unicorn with a valuation $1.8 billion. There is an excitingly strengthening entrepreneurship ecosystem in which technoparks have an increasing role. The turnover created in technoparks in 2019 increased by 43% compared to the previous year. What we witness in all these aspects is the ever-increasing participation of women students, professionals, and leaders. But we should also build on that, because the stance required to raise women's position in the world of science and business cannot only belong to women. This is a social problem, and it needs a solution with a broad participation policy. In many areas, from the education of girls to breaking the stereotypes treated as a social roles, important responsibilities fall on both non-governmental organizations and us individuals who take roles and responsibilities in these communities to ensure that women have the same opportunities as men. At TÜBİSAD, we aim to raise awareness in this area by increasing the number of female members of the board of directors to the highest rate. In every environment we are in, and all the stakeholders we meet, we consider this issue as a priority. In particular, the COVID-19 pandemic showed that access to the technology has turned into a fundamental need, not a luxury. However, technology is seen as one of the areas with a high risk coefficient, and unfortunately, we are witnessing a bias towards greater trust in men in areas seen as risky. In addition to the inequality between small and large enterprises in the use of information and communication technologies, there are also great differences between men and women. For the future of the industry, it's of great importance to focus on eliminating digital inequalities and developing digital competencies. Equality of the number of men and women working in technology can only be achieved by directing female students to more technical fields during their school years. Today, introducing women to digital technologies is equivalent to providing them with tools that they can both maintain their daily life and realize their visions, from education to health, from shopping to art. And I believe we are in a period where we can take these actions to much higher levels. Thank you for listening. Now I would like to introduce our distinguished panelists.
Erman, may I interject for 1 second, please, before you introduce? May I, please? Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you personally. And I just want to also remind, before you started your great speech, I said to myself, I hope I have not forgotten to mention anybody in my team. And I did, unfortunately. And thanks, Aycan, for letting me know somebody was missing here. Very important brother of mine, friend of mine, Recep Palamut. Recep kardeşim, sen bir tanesin, kusura bakma lütfen. Ama öyle önemli bir webinardayız ki it's such an important webinar for me, and I think I was just overwhelmed, and it just slipped off my mind. But you never slip off my. You're always in my mind and my heart. So anyway, there we go. Özür diliyorum, kusura bakmayın Erman. Please, Erman.
Teşekkürler.
Go ahead, please. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Halil Bey. Now I would like to introduce our distinguished panelists, who are the digital women leaders. They will share their experience and ideas with us. And I want to start with Professor Piia Sormunen, who is the industry professor, building services, Tampere University. She's also director of business development, construction, and property development services, Granlund. Professor Piia, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much. So now is my time to share screen. But before that, I want to thank you very much inviting me to this very important event webinar. And I'm really happy to tell my story for you. So wait a moment. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so we can start. Yes, one moment. Yes, about me, myself. First of all, I have to say that beside all my professional career, I'm married. I'm floorball mom. I'm a wife, and I have 2 daughters who are very important for me. I live in Vantaa, and in my free time, I love to play golf, do cross-country skiing, to do hiking, and we have also summer cottage, which we use quite a lot in the summer times. But in the same time, it has been very important for me to build career. And when I was a little girl, I always thought that I will be a doctor. But however, yes, I'm a doctor, but I'm a doctor of science. And I wanted to study maths and physics, and in that way, all this kind of technology was inspiring me. So my education is the Doctor of the Science in Building Services in the construction sector, and also I'm a Master of Science in Energy Economy. Okay, let's go to my professional career. Right now, I'm working in 2 positions. I'm working as an industrial professor in Tampere University. I work in a part-time, and my professor position is financed by industry for 5 years period. And I was invited to take this position and start to lead research group for building services. It was my honor to do that, and it was also my privilege to do that. And in the same time, continue my work in private sector, working as a director. And I'm working in a company called Granlund. In there, I have a position as a R&D director, working in business development. And also I'm part of an executive board in Granlund. So let's continue. About the university, very quickly, we are among the top 3 universities in Finland, and my position is in a built environment. And Granlund is the very large building services company, and we are specialized in software services, consultancies, and design. And innovation and R&D work is very important in our company. I'm very happy to be in a part of that. And about my inspirations in Tampere University, first of all, I have to say that right now, like we want to fight against COVID-19 and against the SARS-CoV-2 and other pathogens. We are in a really different world right now what it was 2 years ago or even 1 year ago. And I think it's my responsibility to bring all my knowledge and what I know for this fight against COVID-19. And right now, I'm leading this kind of research project where we have multidisciplinary researchers, and we from doctors to building services people, and we want to work together and find solutions to open this society and this world again. But of course, other things what are really important for me are the energy transition, what we know is happening right now, and we need to research for that area. And also, we all want to have a low carbon future, and we need to do also lots of work for that. And I have to bring this kind of very important project what we are preparing right now in Finland. And I'm working in a steering group in this this project preparation. And this is going to be an application for Business Finland. And we are collecting we have collected 7 different research institutes all together. And we start work with altogether 15-20 companies to find solutions, how to find solutions for this pandemic situations and opening society. And as we know that very important is that we find new kind of global solutions, safety concepts, solutions to open society. And before that, we need to understand how the different pathogens are working, and we need to understand how built environment acts in this situation, how this kind of viruses, pathogens act, and also how we people act in this kind of situation. And this is very, very exciting project because we really put together all the knowledge what we have in research institutes, but also in the companies. We are providing research information, knowledge, scientific knowledge for the companies so that they can find solutions and for expand international business in that area. And in the end, I will tell you my inspirations in a private business life. And of course, it's very important for me to be in a part of business and follow what is happening in the private sector, and to be on the part of this business life. And of course, my role right now is to implement the different kind of things from innovations to the business, because we need also, if we do R&D work, we want to implement those to the business life to get all the benefit of that. And of course, in that way, I can influence the whole building services area and construction sector. I thank you very much for your time, and I'm happy if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer for those. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Piia. I have a question also for you.
Okay.
Because we know you have a different education system in your country. I would like to get also some information. What is the impact of Finland's diverse education system on women's digital leadership?
Please, could you repeat the questions, because I missed one part.
What is the impact of Finland's diverse education system on the women's digital leadership?
Yes, of course, I have to say that we have very good education system in Finland, and this diversity is taken care of already in the education paths, and in that way, I think we have the same possibilities as a woman to continue in a very high, how to say, in directors and leading different kind of business, and also in the university. This is where I think it's we are happy in Finland to have this opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Thank you.
We can continue with Mrs. Didem Duru. She is the Managing Director of Cisco Turkey, and she is also board member of TÜBİSAD. We are working together for our NGO. Mrs. Didem, now screen is yours.
Erman, thank you very much. Hi everyone. I just would like to share with you actually in Cisco what we do, and also how I am trying to support women in my company and also in the NGOs, as you mentioned. So actually I'm a graduate of economics back in 1995, and just came into technology sector almost 25 years ago, and still here. And I love being in this sector because it's so much dynamic and so much open to new eras. And also, as we see after pandemic, it's very clear that technology is leading the way. So I enjoy being here. I have a daughter of 19 years old, so at home I also enjoy being raising a beautiful girl. And also I am the co-chair at Community Volunteers Association, Toplum Gönüllüleri Vakfı. And in that in this NGO, we also support a lot the girls at university level and the young women, I would call it, and how we can really more maximize the gender equity in our society, and how we can empower and encourage the women more. And as you mentioned, I am a board member of TÜBİSAD and founder of Women in Technology. So I enjoy being a part of each of them and also support the society as much as I can. And as you know, Cisco is the founder of Network Connection. Our history as Cisco has started 37 years ago, where a couple, husband and a wife working in different buildings in Stanford, discovered connecting their computers together. So, and since then we have been the company who makes internet work by developing networking and routing technologies. Within years, of course, with the changing demands and with the changing business requirements of the companies and IT trends, we have expanded our solution beyond network, and security is very important. Collaboration services were becoming much more important nowadays to communicate, and all these management and automation solutions. So as Cisco, we believe in the power of technology, not only to protect, but also to raise the standards of society and individuals. So we act with the vision of creating an inclusive digital future for the whole world. So when Halil Bey mentioned that diversity, equity, and inclusion, and men and women together, this is also what we are, I believe, running after and as a strategy in Cisco. Today, where COVID-19 pandemic is effective and inequality is growing, our vision is to build an inclusive future for all. So, and also accelerating Turkey's digital transformation agenda with both our innovations and corporate social responsibility projects is also one of our priorities in Turkey as well. And I am a fan and a big supporter of this, how we can really empower the Turkey and how we can support Turkey in digitalization and equity. So in Turkey, I mean, 37% of total students are girls studying STEM at university. So, and only 37 is a small number, the girls, but also only 10% continue with a career after graduating. And with the accelerating impacts of pandemic on digital transportation and cybersecurity, it's very obvious that we need much more people in technology more than ever. On the other hand, in 2021, the damage cyber attacks will make is calculated to be around $6 trillion. In order to meet this demand, we need to make technology sector attractive for women as well and remove the image that technology is a man's game. So it is all for women as we are in, and we need more of the women as the world and the country needs. And in Cisco, we do a lot globally and in Turkey as well to encourage and motivate women for technology. So we have an employee resource organization, a kind of an NGO in Cisco. We call it Women of Cisco, whose mission is attracting, developing, retaining, and celebrating female talent for Cisco. But I also want to remind that this Women of Cisco NGO is not only for women, it's also for men. So when we are together, we can really do it. So it is, we all, men and women, work to attract, develop, retain, and celebrate female talent for Cisco. Last September in Turkey, we made a social responsibility program to encourage women at technology. We called it Attendance to Cybersecurity Training Program, and Erman had also joined us in one of our panels to really share the experience with the young people. And it was really very effective event where our priority was the women who wanted to work in this area, but opened it to everyone. 2,600 people registered and 60% was women. So at the end, 500 students got their certificate on security. And now we are continuing with a smaller group, and we deep dive into security and interview techniques, and also we mentor them. And it's important to really prepare them for business life in parallel to what they study. And as part of Women's Day last week, we did joint activities with again TOG, Toplum Gönülleri Vakfı, the NGO, and we have donated to give social gender equality trainings to students. So this is very important that we support these trainings, and this is also how we did during last week among all the other activities that we have done. And also Cisco is supporting a lot the mothers and the women, I would call it. We did a very recent announcement, and I think I really find it very, very encouraging for women. So for the main caregiver policy, we just said that we gave extension of maternity leave to 13 weeks after giving birth. Even when you adopt a child, we get 2 weeks before she joins and 13 weeks after she joins. And we also we did not have this before. And also supporting caregiver leave is also extended to 4 weeks. It is legally 4 days in Turkey. So as a company, we are trying to make a difference and encourage women to work, to be more active at work environment. And I also believe that as private sector and also as the associations, NGOs, we have lots to do for women in our society. And personally and in my company, we will continue doing that.
Thank you, Didem, for your valuable sharing also. I have a question for you. As we know also, we don't have too much women leaders in technology in Turkey. And you work for global companies, IBM you work also. What was the challenge for you as a Turkish woman by rising to leadership positions in the global companies?
Erman, it is really how I always said that is, I mean, I never thought I am a woman or a man. I mean, maybe it is I'm becoming more aware of this, but I always said, so how can I do it better? So I didn't really think of, so is it because I am a woman? I didn't think of it. Did something happen? I mean, IBM has always been very mature on this. So I really, my career has been always good at IBM, and I didn't really feel it. And also maybe in the when we start working with the Middle East area, so now we are all, you know, for last 10 years reporting to Middle East. When we are reporting to Middle East, I can just say that in social environment especially, I don't feel included because I mean they have the shisha, and so all the conversations are going with a shisha, and the dialogues are different. So, and I am not the shisha person. So I think this is the social side is more affecting rather than in the business side.
Okay, thank you, Didem.
Thank you.
Our last panelist is Mrs. Annina Verkkomäki. She's the owner and CEO of Omuus Limited. Mrs. Annina, screen is yours.
Thank you, Erman, Hanim. Wonderful to be here today. I want to thank the organizer, the Turkey-Finland Business Council, the Finnish and Turkish embassies, and Business Finland for the invitation to talk about such an important topic on the quest for women in technology. I will now share my screen as well. That would be a cute. So talking about quest for women in technology, Omuus, we are a technology design agency. I want to share a little bit about my background. I've been working similar to all the wonderful ladies here over 20 years in technology. Our history actually is from Nokia and Microsoft. Believe it or not, my team is actually been part of the birth of the whole phone industry. When I joined, there wasn't a such industry as phone industry. So we had to think about where do we relate? What are phones to people? And in the beginning, when we were designing these ones, they were part of fashion, they were lifestyle, they were sport inspired or premium inspired or business. So definitely we've been part of creation of innovation for many different industries. Today, this year actually marks the 10th anniversary for Omuus. And during the years, we've been serving over 70 clients, ranging from security, medical, transportation, smartphone, obviously is our cup of tea, consumer electronics, smartphone, wearables, and smart home industries. But everything has to do with understanding who we are serving, who is the end customer, and what is their situation. Today, our team is approximately 20 persons around the globe. We are in, obviously in Finland, UK, China, and we have one support also in Australia. What was amazing with today's topic about the quest for women was actually, this was the first time I realized that majority of our team are women. Tech careers are usually marketed as hard skills such as science, mathematics, engineering. But what is really important to highlight is that there are so crucial skills that are required as a key for technology roles. Ability to collaborate with multidisciplinary teams. This came across from all your speeches today, and I can't stress it more. To be able to discuss between the R&D, the marketing, the supply chain, branding, neuroscientists, and bring all those talents together to create something amazing for tomorrow. Secondly, is actually a really important skill set to be able to do research and to be able to have empathy to understand the needs of your end users. And when you're understanding the needs, then you're able to innovate truly. So technology field is in a constant evolution. It always has been, it will always be. And one of the, we as technology designers, we need to have a constant learning mindset. And that's what we constantly say to everybody who asks for mentorship, is that it's a never-ending learning. In Omuus, during the years, we collaborated with schools to partner to mentor students. We have done hundreds of international lectures, also to mentor in-house design teams, branding, marketing, R&D, so forth. Also co-writing publications. Last year, I really highly recommend Aalto University, the Chem Arts Cookbook. It's about biomaterials, and we also have done an article for that. Many young women growing up today have the amazing fortune to have parents who are their role models. I loved it when Erman Hanim, you mentioned about your parents being your role models to support you in your career choices. I want to ask everybody who are listening today, how can you be a role model for somebody? It doesn't have to be a girl or a young lady, it can be a boy. And I just wanted to share a few of my role models. For 20 years, I have looked up to Lee Ederkurt, who has been collaborating with Google for their software. Second lady is Iris Affel. She created Viceware wearable technology collection when she was 93 years old. And that's my aspiration, to constantly be able to innovate, never stop innovating and learning. So I wanted to share that with you. Another thing that I came across when doing this study for this quest for women is that the saying goes, if she can't see it, she can't be it. And it talks about the importance of introducing role models to young girls in science, in mathematics, and in technology. And this is a poster collection of these inspirational women to inspire young ladies that they can be whatever they set their mind to be. This is by Nevertheless, and you can, these are free posters from Almighty Girl. But let's look at not only women as creators and innovators and scientists and technology designers, but let's look at also the power of women as a consumption power. Women today are the largest, the world's most powerful consumers, and this is due to the higher workforce participation, higher brand influence, but also the growing number of women in leadership positions. And that's definitely something, it is in business's best interest to address the women need just because of the consumption power. I also wanted to share a little bit of what Omuus does. So how do we work with our clientele and collaborate? And I wanted to start with one of the Finnish brands called Navigil and their wearable device for smartwatch for elderly. The key philosophy for this device was designed with dignity. In many, many cases, unfortunately, the brands are overlooking the silver market, which is having a substantial consumption power. And this device, how we designed it, even though it is an emergency watch, so it does have a SOS button for those emergency situations, but the device has a very traditional premium watch look. It also has a phone function, so you can call to your close relatives. Also GPS for tracking for those elderly with Alzheimer or any other type of memory disabilities, and also sensors to measure health and wellness. I wanted to also present Token, sub-brand for coach holding, and Archelic. We have been so privileged to collaborate with this amazing company for their innovation sector. We were doing the research and concept for this mobile point of sale device, and it won the CES Innovation Award. This project was started with a field study in 6 markets to understand where the payment trend is going and what are the implications to the product development so that it is future-proof. This next generation mobile payment terminal was also quite interestingly future-proof thanks to its dual display. Because of this COVID situation that we have been hearing a lot today, also that the solutions that are needed crucially, the hygiene actually is a considerable factor in retail today. And with this dual display, the consumer actually doesn't have to touch the display device, and therefore it provides also hygienic factors. For this new service, we also created branding and animation for the marketing and also aid with the sales purposes. There is a series of animations that we created to further elaborate this fantastic service. And we also did the branding and then the website design. So this is a service for different interest groups, and especially this is for restaurant services. Another case that I wanted to talk about is yet again a Finnish brand called Suunto, known for their premium sport watch instruments. We collaborated with Suunto in order to create a new collection to cater both for athletes and for lifestyle-driven users, to be credible in different channels, but also to appeal to women. That in many, many cases, when we're working with tech brands, is the difficulty to understand how to tailor their offering to women. We created a portfolio level CMF strategy, CMF meaning color, material and finish design. That's one of the specialty areas that Omuus also provides. So this strategy and palette, especially this variant, became immediate success in sales in different markets. Another thing in our research, we also identified key areas where to improve to meet the demand of different market needs, especially Japanese market was one of the key areas there. It was rather interesting when we worked on this diving collection. Obviously, keep in mind that these are devices that need to protect you when you're underwater. But secondly, this can also be something that attract, especially the women are avid divers. And when we were doing a consumer study of this variant, it was rather interesting. One member in the study was saying, I don't care what the device does, I just want it. And to me, that's something that it's such a powerful statement of emotional response to a brand offering. But through the consumer research, we identified key points to target these new consumers through strategic design. And we had amazing collaboration with Suunto, with all their different disciplines to create this unique brand image in all brand mediums. And also our material was used to brief the marketing at that time. A second example of our collaboration with the respected Archelic. I just want to express in my gratitude also for Business Finland and especially Nilüfer Hanim and Pelin Annim for their support that has been such a crucial for our company, for us to understand better a certain market needs. And again, I am stressing this role of women also as a collaborators to be able to have these multidisciplinary roles and to support one another to achieve the utmost highest design delivery. So we've been working with Archelic over their innovation portfolio, and what a wonderful innovation portfolio they do have. And this smart home Assista is one of the first Google Alexa type of a smart home speaker. And one of the key factors when we did the study was to understand the user experience, because the users can vary from very small child to elderly person. So to have this design for all type of a mentality, to understand what are the approachability, the ease of use, and also the key factors in design that enable approachable smart device. Also, we designed the service design and the experience from the shop to the making the device yours. And especially understanding that emotional considerations will strongly going to be affecting the buying decisions, especially today because of the whole economic situation being such a fragile for different markets. The consumers are being very cautious about where they are investing, and therefore this understanding what type of solutions brands are offering in their services or products is definitely important today. Another Finnish example, this is an amazing zero-emission two-seater e-bike from a company called Scouter. I love this vehicle a lot because it is an electric vehicle. Therefore, the weight was the crucial starting point for design, and it was very much like all of our, whether it's audio quality where we need to have acoustic materials, but here it was the lightweight and structural strength in materials. We selected actually fabric for the exterior for the vehicle, and also natural fiber composite for the structural parts. All in all, the concepting was only 4 weeks. We are quite fast when it comes to our execution, and today it's manufactured by Valmet Automotives. The design was inspired by biomimicry and the Voronoi pattern that is found in nature, for example, dragonfly wings. And Voronoi means the minimum amount of material distributed over to cover maximum surface, and therefore to be able to get really lightweight structure, which helps the vehicle to travel maximum with the electricity. And here is the end result. The entire vehicle is also modular, so you can change it according to whether you're actually doing pizza deliveries or having it as a company transportation device. Years of collaboration with Huawei. Unfortunately, this is the only one that I can share, but definitely a material-led sensorial design with engaging surfaces for the high-end 2-in-1 tablet and laptop series created by our very own Nina. And my last example from respected Arçelik, it is 4 times awarded medical kiosk design. And Corensis, it is an automated hospital registration and medical measurement kiosk. It is enabled with high precision medical sensors, advanced algorithms, and artificial intelligence assistance. Even though there was no COVID at the time when we were designing this one, however, this proved to be very future-proof and provide solutions for the current situation with the COVID because of the contactless interaction. That this demand has been raised a lot today, and we are working to provide multiple different solutions in our portfolio. Also, the currencies will provide improved efficiency for medical staff to focus on the healthcare. And again, the philosophy for this design was designed for all. The reason being is that medical kiosk is used by people of different size, ages, including users with physical disabilities. And that was my presentation today. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and I really wish a wonderful day to everybody.
Thank you so much, Annina. I am very glad you have also Turkish customers and you are working for innovative solutions together with Arçelik and Beko. It's very impressive. In Finland, woman leader and woman technology employment also to be proud, I think. You have a lot of women is working in technology and science area. But in the software part also, in the world, we have a small numbers, small figures for that. I think as a country, you have higher ratio from the other countries and from the European Union also. But what do you think also in the at the past also, why was software led by women in the early years of technology, and now we don't have this also, like Margaret Hamilton, as I mentioned from my presentation, Grace Hopper, Ada Lovelace. How can we increase these numbers? How can we be also more role models for the young ladies and for women students? What do you think on that?
I was, Erman, I was so inspired by your presentation and by your role model, because it is exactly like if they don't see it, they don't want to be it. And by being out there to speak about that and actually market it as it's not the hard values, as in that it's requires so much mathematics or science and so forth, but it's also the soft qualities, the soft skills that women possess, and therefore also empowering the young girls that they have the skill sets that is required in even in the tech industry and the tech roles. And I think that it just requires all of us to work together to be forefront and talk about our own special paths as well, to inspire them in our own. I think that it's so wonderful that the work that you're doing, and also in Cisco, to empower women both internally but also externally, because you have such a much more flexibility and ability to support women. And that's also what we try to do, even though our company is such a small player here, but to yes, to inspire women more.
Thank you. I have a slide and I would like to share with you also. It's so interesting. The percentage of boys and girls who studied science and technology before 1980s was similar. But if you see from the graphs also, with the introduction of PCs after 1980s, this ratio started to change because the games were for boys. And in the if you see from the IBM PC also, the commercials they played with father and son. Girls much more interested in computers declined from year to year. And we have to increase that altogether and work together also. I wanted to share this slide with you. And the boy was asking that can I use the IBM PC tonight? But I know now everybody has to use the same technologies and to have the same digital competencies also in the new digital economy and new digital world. I would like to thanks again to our distinguished panelists and our also all participants. So much thanks to DEİK and Mr. Halil Kulluk for this great organization. As so much thanks also to Göksel Bey, Yurdal Bey, and Mrs. Minna. Thank you so much.
Erman, we thank you very much for being a wonderful moderator. And we want to thank our speakers for that great presentations. We've learned a lot and we are encouraged, and you empowered us as well. So now there's a mutual empowerment waiting for us. And I think this was exciting. Thank you very much. I wonder whether, Aycan Bey, whether we have any questions actually coming up.
No, Halil Bey, no questions.
Okay. Well, I think we're about there with the time. Maybe Yurdal'cığım buradasın değil mi? Yurdal Bey burada değil mi?
Buradayım.
Ha, o zaman senle bitireceğiz. But before actually Göksel'i göremedim çünkü onun bir işi vardı. Minna da yazmış, o da özür diledi, bir yere yetişmesi gerekiyordu. Ama çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Minna Raskilen'e, Göksel Baktagir'e ve Yurdal'cığıma, Yurdal Tokcan'a. Şimdi Yurdal'dan bir ud taksimiyle artık güzel bir şekilde bizi coşturursun da. But I'm sure we're gonna get overly excited again. Sayın Büyükelçim tekrar çok teşekkür ediyorum. Timo, thank you so much for being with us. Your presence here, your friendship and your support are all very important to us. Thank you very much. And again, wholeheartedly, I believe in today's importance. And we talked about role models. I must admit, it's not just role model, but allow me to share something, a very small sort of something that left an impression on me. I'm thinking pretty soon. I'm making preparation to actually write something and make a presentation on my mother, my grandmother, and my mother's grandmother. Okay, because when we are so young, our characters are so malleable. Okay, one can give shape. They were so strong. My mother was really grew up in Istanbul, but originally my grandmother and my great grandmother, my Ayşe, may they rest in peace. My mother is still very strong, going strong. But grandmother and great grandmother, they were from Konya. They were not highly educated, but they were strong, strong ladies. And their hug was the strongest, believe me. I felt that hug and the strength that gave me when I was actually studying abroad, when I was alone. That helped me a lot. And the other thing, all these ladies, they were truly administrative. They were procedural. They were integrative. And they were entrepreneurial. They were coming up with ideas. So I am grateful to them. They were the ones who gave me the initial step. Then that continued with my wife, of course, and my daughter. So I take myself to be very lucky, and I'm grateful to all of them. And ladies, we are here for you together. You know, at the beginning, I talked about getting together. And now is the time I said for actionable screenplays, always keeping in mind diversity, equity, inclusion. Women and men together, actionable. Again, my friends who know me, they know it very well, that I end these kind of webinars with a touch of poetry, this time again from Rumi, Yap bitir işi. And the translation, Seray Hanımcığım, size emanet tercüme. But I'll recite it in English. Rumi goes again. Who can find trace of you? There isn't even a bit of dust from the track. Who could find your home? You have no home. How can I praise you? What can I say about you? Foam is the only foam in the sea of meaning. Anlam denizindeki tek ifaden şu dalgaların köpüğü. A great unseen town lies just behind that curtain. Our world is nothing compared to that. Don't lower yourself. Don't knock on every door. Oh heart, raise your tent up to the sky. Don't say I can't. Sure you can. Just do it. Yapamam deme. Şüphesiz ki yapabilirsin. Yap bitir, yap bitir işi, yap bitir işi demiş Rumi. So it's like borrowing an ad, but this was the exact translation in a Rumi book, okay? Let's go for it. Let's look for actionable screenplays, always keeping in mind diversity, equity, inclusion, women and men together. And now, Yurdalcığım, şimdi sende artık. Hanımlar, beyler hep beraber dedik. Hadi güzel bir şey, ne diyelim? Yani hisleniş mi diyelim, özleniş mi diyelim? Yoksa gene biraz hareketli
Yani
sabah
biraz
rüzgarı mı diyelim?
hareketli bir şey yapalım da.
Hadi hareketli bir şey yapalım, şöyle bir coşalım hep beraber. Ondan sonra hepimiz let's do something, a lot of energy, with a lot of energy, and then we'll say goodbye. All right? And thank everyone.
Video için izin gerekiyor herhalde Halil Bey. Video şu an kapalı.
Aycan, Yurdan Bey'in videosu.
Hemen açıyorum. Nurdal Bey deneyebilir misiniz lütfen? Okay.
Tamam, teşekkürler.
Çok güzel. Tüm yakışıklığı da burada Yurdalcığım. Hadi bakalım. videos. Thank you so much, Urdal. Well, I want to thank every single person who actually attended our great webinar. This is just the beginning. Wonderful ladies and wonderful gentlemen. Let's do it together. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Bu bir başlangıç olsun. Hep beraber hanımlar ve erkekler, kadınlar ve erkekler beraberce teknolojiye doğru ilerleyelim ama teknoloji bizim kontrolümüzde olsun. Let's go for technology, women and men together, but let's make sure that we pay utmost attention to ethics, ethical values, and that technology is within the context of our command and control. Thank you very much. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Sağ olun, var olun efendim.
Teşekkürler. Thank you very much.
Her şey
Thank you.
Sağ olun.
Gönlünüzce olsun.
Okay.